Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we're talking about the power of words and how one New Jersey entrepreneur turned a simple idea into a national movement of kindness and self-love. Adriana Carrig is the founder and CEO of Little Words Project, a jewelry brand that started in her parents' Livingston basement and is now sold in major retailers with celebrity fans. But at its heart, this brand is about something much deeper, empowering people through words and building a community of kindness. Adriana is here to tell us all about her journey, which started right here in the Garden State. Adriana, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, this is such a full circle moment because you visited us when we were in Fairfield pre-COVID, just when your brand started taking off, and now you're a household name.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as that, but we're certainly on our way, and it's been quite the journey for those first 5 years, and now the last 5 have been absolutely insane as well. But yeah, I'm very excited to be back here and to see the familiar face that took a chance on us then. So thank you.
Well, I want our viewers to know your story from the beginning because it truly is one of the great entrepreneur success stories.
Thank you. Well, yeah, my journey started like all great entrepreneurship stories do, which is in my parents' basement, where I used to make versions of these bracelets for myself. When I was growing up, I dealt with a lot of negativity. I was bullied from a young age, and I really needed to create these positive affirmations that I could look right down at my wrist and see and help me get through those difficult moments. And so that's kind of the impetus for why I started the brand. And then I went to college and I joined a sorority, and I saw that girls, when they are kind to one another, can really do great things and lift each other up and get places, right? And so I found real sisterhood there, and I created a batch of bracelets for them, and we started this sisterhood bracelet concept there. And I graduated, I saw they were still into it, they were still doing it, and so I thought, you know, a year out of graduation, in 2013, I thought to myself, why couldn't this be a sisterhood bracelets for the masses? And that's kind of what Little Words Project became.
And you were originally going to school to be a lawyer.
I was an English major in college with the intention of going to law school. I had actually just taken the LSAT for the second time in October before the November that I launched the brand. And so I was kind of doing both in tandem, studying and launching and kind of getting, you know, thinking, listen, if I get great scores and it tells me I can get into Harvard, then I'll go. And if not, then I'm just going to stay this course. I did not get Harvard scores. And I'm very happy that things worked out as they did, because I believe that I was meant to do this and meant to bring this product to the world.
Of course. So 2013, social media was around, Instagram, it was the beginnings of all of that.
Yep.
How did social media help build your brand?
It was very new, and we were one of the only and probably the first brands to show the behind the scenes journey of building a brand. I say we, but it was me, myself, and my mom and dad as my early interns, if you will. And I shared all of the experience, start to finish, from coming up with the concept to coming up with the name to finding a lawyer to finding an accountant. I mean, just really all of the process. So that was one way that we kind of built an early community. And then beyond that, I mean, at launch, you know, I had 60 plus sorority women share the link on their Facebook pages, and within a month we were profitable because of that. So I really credit social media to helping grow the early days of the business, for sure.
And what you just said is so smart. You weren't trying to be your own accountant or your own lawyer.
Correct.
You outsourced all of that so you could focus on what you love.
Yeah, and I would probably say that's still how I try to lead. I don't know everything. I actually know very little when it comes to, or naturally knew very little when it comes to starting a business or building a business, and especially now scaling that business. And so I often look to others for their expertise and their guidance, and just to hire team members that are better than I am in these departments, and kind of really sit back and say, all right, you got this, you know.
Exactly.
And building a team, I think, is one of the hardest parts of being a business owner and scaling that business. But it's something that I feel really proud of, because even though I've gotten it wrong plenty of times, I also got it right a whole lot more, and that's evidenced in just the incredible team that I do have now.
So you were profitable a month in.
Yeah.
How did you scale, though, to be worldwide?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're not quite worldwide yet. We are sold across the world in different spots, but that's still a goal of mine, is to be truly international, have brick and mortar in other countries and things like that. But until that time, it has been a growth, right? I mean, it's been 12 years in business now officially. But yeah, it was really just like I said, outsourcing when I needed help, hiring when I needed more hands, and not really being too freaked out about, do I have a business plan for this? Have I done a SWOT analysis for that? You know, really just trying to disengage from everything I thought I knew about business and just learn by doing. Mm-hmm. And I have applied that through the last decade of being in business, and it's helped.
And there's been obstacles, personally, professionally, a pandemic. Mm-hmm. How did the pandemic affect?
On the one hand, it helped us see that the customer is interested in this type of uplifting, positive, powerful product that we are, right? Because we're more than a word bracelet. We are meant to inspire, to uplift, to help you through life's difficulties. And nothing is more difficult than navigating a global pandemic from inside of your home. So we actually saw a decent lift in sales during that time, but stress-wise and how it really left me feeling fearful for the future, and not just for the brand, but like the world. Like, it was just a really stressful time to be a business owner and to not only think about myself, but my team, which I'm very happy to say we did not have to furlough anyone. We did not have to let anyone go. We were able to keep that scale. And that has a lot to do with our community and kind of calling upon them and saying, hey, listen, if you've got the dollars to spend and you're looking to bring joy to your day, then shop with Little Words Project. And they really showed up for us.
During that time, what was the word, the bracelet, that people really resonated with?
You know, strength has been a #1 bestseller for us since the very beginning days. Like, that was it. So strength over the years has really just continued to be at the top of the list because of the purpose of the brand, right? You're meant to wear it to lift you up, get you through, and then one day when you no longer need that or someone else needs it more, the idea is to pass it on. And so that's the easiest word to get, you know, your feet wet with Little Words Project, right? Is you buy a strength, you let it help you through the inevitable difficulty you will face, and then one day pass it forward. So I think strength stayed one of the top. Believe is also a top. It's also my favorite word. Trust has been popping over the years. And then, of course, our customization. You know, we allow people to make any word, any name, anything they want on a bracelet as long as it's kind. And we found that we have 50% of our customer base is purchasing for custom. They are buying something that has something that matters to them. And so that's interesting always to see, and shows that customers are really trying to find things that they connect with and not just buy to buy.
And are they buying for themselves, or are they buying to give away?
That's also 50-50, which has also been kind of cool to see in our post-purchasing surveys, really understanding the customer thoughts and what is it that makes them tick, what is it that they're coming to Little Words Project for. And it's, if you're not buying for yourself, you're buying for a gift. We have people tell us that we are their go-to gift company. When people ask, you know, who's your demographic, I always just say, like, women of all ages, young, middle, all ages. You know, we have granddaughters wearing it with their moms to match their grandmas, and like, it's across the gamut, and it's a beautiful thing to see how intergenerational this brand has become.
Well, I think you really exploded 2 summers ago when all the rage was the friendship bracelet during the Eras tour and Taylor Swift. How did you catch wind of all of that?
Well, I, like everybody else, you know, heard the song lyric. I got excited because I was like, oh my gosh, you know, she's speaking to us and to what we have created, and also what we've been doing as young women for the, you know, since the dawn of time. Like, I didn't invent the friendship bracelet. I know that. I was making them for myself when I was a kid. As most young women did in that day, and still to this day, obviously. But what she did in highlighting it and in getting her community so excited about it was, I think, prove the concept of wearing something and then passing it on and paying it forward and trading it, and seeing the Swifties get so excited about that, and then seeing how excited they were about our product. Like, we were just a natural fit, you know? It's like, imagine owning a mask company before a global pandemic, right? Like, that's kind of the experience that it was, in that we had a brand that was all about what people were making themselves, and we found a customer in their community that loved us. But we also were able to do that without alienating an entire customer base that isn't necessarily a Swiftie either. Yeah. So again, it was a nice lift in eyeballs to the friendship bracelet. Honestly, it got media attention more than anything else that we were able to kind of like ride on a little bit. But besides that, you know, it didn't negatively affect our business in any way other than maybe now there's more like men who just think that this is a Swiftie product, but the real ones know. And, you know, I'm a huge fan of her myself. And the last thing I'll say about the Taylor thing was when Lance Bass,
well, I was going to say Taylor Swift is one thing, but NSYNC, talking about your brand and sharing bracelets on the VMA stage, that's a whole other level for me. Anyway.
I love that you remember that because that was what did it for us. And that's why we felt like we had the validity behind the Taylor Swift connection. And it is because on that VMA stage in 2023, Lance Bass handed Taylor a stack of bracelets, and she said, "Thank you for the friendship bracelets." And that was very much so how we can honestly say that she wears the product, she has the product, she loves the product, and that's enough, right? And just the Lance of it all. I mean, as a millennial girl myself, I grew up loving Lance and the whole gang of NSYNC, and it's been a pinch me to have such a fan in him.
What did her bracelets say?
Okay, so they said fearless. They said her favorite NSYNC song.
Yes.
So we had a little collection up actually of the bracelets that she wore or that she was given. We still have a friendship collection up on our site. So if people who are looking for the words that she specifically has, we do have them available. And in general, all of our bracelets are so Taylor coded because it is all about uplifting and empowerment and kindness. And she does embody all of that. And like me, she was bullied in the Northeast. So we have a lot of parallels minus the global superstar.
And she vacationed down the Jersey Shore.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. And she was an Eagles fan. Now she's maybe not.
Are you an Eagles fan?
I am an Eagles fan.
Oh,
I'm sorry. My husband, I know. He's from South Jersey.
No. Okay.
I'm Eagles by association.
Yeah.
Don't hate
You're
me.
talking to a suffering Giants
I know.
fan. Do you do NFL bracelets?
We don't yet. It is on the horizon, as are most of our sports teams. We are very interested in exploring the world of not only sports, but women's sports and focusing on women in sports. We have a lot of really exciting things coming up around that. But really our brand is just such a perfect fit for community-based things. Anything that has a community wants for a community friendship bracelet, right? Like the same way that my sorority, these became our sisterhood bracelets, so could a Girl Scout troop, so could a local TV studio, so could, you know, anything that has like a sports team, anything that has a community component. These bracelets really help to enliven that community and just breed that true connection of kindness, and imagine just sharing them amongst yourselves as the opportunities arise. It's a beautiful way to engage with the brand.
Food brings people together. On Cooking with Copel, we combine culinary creativity with good conversation. This spring, we've invited all the candidates for governor to come into the Montclair kitchen, teach me to cook their favorite dish, and give the people of New Jersey a chance to get to know the individuals who would lead our state. It's going to be a fun and exciting way to get really involved in the democratic process. Can't wait to see you there.
The bracelets are so gorgeous. And my next question is, how do you stand out? Because so many people make friendship bracelets. There's so many brands. I feel like as an outsider, the market is saturated, but you still stand out. Why do you think you do?
I think we are the first to market, honestly. Like, we are the original, and we own that. I do believe that I know that I was among the very first to commodify the concept of a friendship bracelet in this nature, where it has a concept behind it. We also call ourselves a word bracelet more than a friendship bracelet, because I guess I could say it's a community bracelet, right? Because the concept is to wear it and then pay it forward. On every single bracelet is a little gold tag, and that tag is unique to that bracelet. So you use that to connect the bracelet to our website. You put in your story, why you chose it. And then when you do trade it or pass it on, you can begin to track where it goes as the next person connects and the person after her connects. And that's not something anyone else has mastered. That's not something anyone else is doing. That came to me in the middle of the night, like in one of those like aha out of bed moments that I remember rolling over. I grabbed my phone and I wrote it in my notes app, like a code that you could trace the bracelet with. And that was in the early days. And the second I thought of that idea, I knew that I could turn it into a concept, a viable business, because that was the X factor. And that still today remains the X factor. That's what we've managed to do. We have a lot of really exciting products coming out. We have 14 brick and mortar retail stores that no one else is achieving at that scale and stage. We are by far the largest manufacturer of beaded bracelets, I would say, in the country when it comes to this product. No one else is doing it like we are. So at the end of the day, being first to market helps stand out, and people know us as such, and that is helpful.
How many bracelets are you making a year?
I don't have the exact number. My husband, who's our president and has all those details, would be able to give us a real number, but it's over 1 million, at this point.
And is every story registered to the website?
No. Oh my gosh. I wish people would get it and just do it, because I have to sometimes beg certain customers to like understand that point. And also for us, it's like a if you know, you know, because we don't really scream it from the rooftops. Like it's definitely something you have to like get in to understand, and then you go deeper and you keep exploring the brand and you learn, which I do love that component too. But we do have a good chunk of people who do connect them, but it's probably like 25% of the total overall purchase of the product. That's okay to me, because it's the like community within the community that really understands that we're more than just a bracelet to put your children's name on. You can do that and always have a strength on you, right? Always have a believe on you, so that when you do meet that person, you can hand the thing right off your wrist. And that connection that is happening in real life does so much more for our soul than anyone realizes. And when people do actually connect and share their bracelets, we've done some surveying, we've found that 100% of them marked that they would do it again, because that's how special it is. So the ones who know, and they love it, and it makes for just a really beautiful gift too, because it's got that story behind it. It's like this gift that keeps on giving.
Those are your VIPs. So you talk about your brick and mortar. You have a very exciting grand opening coming up.
I do. We are very excited to be opening at the Short Hills Mall, which I haven't even really officially announced anywhere. You might be breaking it. There's a chance. But this is such a dream come true. When I tell you, I grew up visiting this mall.
Of course,
obviously.
Livingston, East Hanover, that's our mall.
That's the mall. And you would walk and you always feel underdressed when you're at the Short Hills Mall, and you're always like, oh, do I look crazy for this? But I still go that way because I'm me to a fault. Just seeing myself up there, knowing how many times I've walked those halls and how many of the people I grew up with that maybe, didn't treat me so kindly are walking those halls, and who have maybe since changed and are excited for me too. Like it's a very cool feeling. I cannot wait. It's going to be a fun party, obviously, to celebrate this major full circle moment.
I can't wait. I will be there with my daughter, Liana.
I can't wait.
And speaking of kids, I feel like I have so much in common with you.
We do.
Just between the business, the trajectory, and now the kids.
The kids.
Tell us about your family.
Thank you. Yeah. I love the family question. I don't think it's possible to do one of these interviews without acknowledging how important they are, but also how difficult it makes this job. It's even harder when you have babies. I know you and I have children the same age, so I have almost a 2-year-old, almost a 4-year-old. Mm-hmm. And it's just no joke. Like, it's almost insane how you're not really warned at just how hard it is to be a mom and a successful career woman at the same time. And nobody really tells you that you will fail at one or the other. Like if you're really good at one, you're definitely dropping the ball at the other, and that's okay. And so for me, I just really try to lead by our 2025 word of the year is grace at Little Words Project. We actually have a bracelet that has a little 2025 tag attached to it, word of the year. So we're very excited about this new initiative. But grace, that was my choice because I feel like that's how I have to live. I have to give myself grace, or else I will never come out of a dark hole of just feeling like not enough. because you just never feel like you're enough in any one department if you're working or if you're with your kids. So for me, it's, you know, I try to lead both my home life and my work life with a lot of grace for myself, for my kids, for my team. So my family is a beautiful, growing family, but it's one that, you know, certainly makes for the business owner side to be a little bit harder. But they're together.
Yeah, they're together. You're running everything at the same time. And we were talking off camera. Thank God we started our businesses when we were young, single, living with our parents, because there is no possible way.
It's possible, but it's really hard. And if you can get your head wrapped around that and around the fact that to do it, you'll have to invest in yourself by way of investing in someone to come help you with your kids. Like that's okay, right? If you've got that ability, that's okay. Mm-hmm. And so many people will shame me to this day of having a nanny or having my mom or having someone there. But it's like, I don't want my kids to be without, and I don't want myself to be without, because I do value my job and my career in this role that I have created for myself. And so, I don't know, it's doable, but not without help.
But you know what, as hard as it is and exhausting, I don't know about you, but it's actually enhanced my business and made it even better, because you don't have time for the BS. You don't have time to
make
waste.
quicker decisions.
You make quicker decisions. You say no a lot easier.
Yep.
And those were issues that I had pre-kids that I mean, it's always a work in progress, but it's definitely a lot better than it was.
Oh yeah, no, I was so much more willing to like drop things out on a dime and just go fly across the country to do something that I thought would get me somewhere, but it didn't at the end of the day. And it's actually made for like a much smaller room for error, but it makes me better in that smaller zone, right? And so definitely, I think it's only enhanced my ability to lead.
I didn't have a business plan. Same thing. I was just like, all right, I'm making this decision. Let's go.
Yes.
And it's not for the faint of heart, but it is the best thing ever.
Is.
And you are testimony to that.
Thank you.
Adriana, this was so much fun. I'm
you.
so happy that you were here.
Me too.
Where can people find out more about you and to get a bracelet?
Oh, that's easy. So you can find us on littlewordsproject.com. That's where we sell. We sell absolutely everything there. We have retail stores across the country, so be sure to look on our website. If you're visiting any of these fun cities like Nashville or Austin or Boston, there is a Little Words Project store there, and it's fun to kind of check out what we've got in exclusives in each city if you're traveling. If you're local, we have our Pure Village store down in Long Branch, New Jersey. We've got Short Hills coming.
Can't wait for that.
We've got our store on Bleecker Street in Manhattan, which is a fun little day trip. And then you can find us on Instagram, on social. We show all the behind the scenes, and TikTok, where we do TikTok lives, but it's just at Little Words Project. And if you're interested in following me, it's at Adriana Carrig on both platforms, where I share a lot of that life of motherhood, business owning, and all the fun stuff in between.
You definitely keep it real.
Thank
You're
you.
on a business call. Breastfeeding on the other hand, and I'm like, oh look, there's me. But you have the confidence to put that out there. I do not.
You totally could.
I live vicariously.
I'll tell you what, that when I post things about the motherhood and work of it all, and the breastfeeding really, really rubs people a certain way, which look, I understand,
Isn't
right?
it crazy how polarizing breastfeeding is?
That's the unfortunate part, and that's why I share, because I want people to see that it's okay. Especially, I just feel for those moms out there who feel genuinely like it's not possible. But if you start to condition the world to believe that women are superheroes and women have superpowers when they have that motherly instinct, when they have, I mean, even just the life force of milk being produced from your body, like, believe it or not, actually does, in my opinion, change the energy center of your body and your decision-making skills. And like, I don't know, I just think we should be relishing that as a society. And I'm proud to be someone that speaks on that and shares my journey. I almost miss breastfeeding now. I really felt like it's so invigorating.
It is.
As you know,
oh,
right?
Because it's the
your
best.
little one won't let you stop.
I don't know if I'm ever going to miss it, because I can't imagine Joey stopping. So on that note, thank you so much.
That's the best way to end this. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.
Food brings people together. On Cooking with Copel, we combine culinary creativity with good conversation. This spring, we've invited all the candidates for governor to come into the Montclair kitchen, teach me to cook their favorite dish, and give the people of New Jersey a chance to get to know the individuals who would lead our state. It's going to be a fun and exciting way to get really involved in the democratic process. Can't wait to see you there.